Kick us off.
Thanks, Karine. Just a bit of housekeeping. Give an update on when the president will be coming back from Camp David. Is there a reason for his delay?
No update on when he's going to be returning. I think we had mentioned, and you probably saw his Twitter account this weekend, just laying out how on social media how the president was going to Camp David to focus on his speech for tomorrow night. I just don't have an update on his return, and I'm sure it'll be sometime this afternoon.
A different topic. In the wake of the balloon operation, NSC and the administration has said that it's going to brief members of the Trump administration on that. Can you give us a list of which Trump administration members would be eligible for that briefing? I mean, is former President Trump eligible, since the president had previously blocked him from getting classified briefings after he left office?
So as we mentioned, and you heard my colleagues from NSC, that we are prepared. The Intelligence Committee is indeed prepared to offer key officials, as you were just laying out, from the Trump administration on the briefings on this PRC surveillance program. And so we're not going to get into who are those key officials. From here, I would refer you to the intelligence community on those logistics on when it's going to happen and who those key officials would be. But again, we are prepared. We are willing to have that conversations, to do the briefing, but just not going to get into the specifics of who.
And just on a third topic, a number of surveys, including from the AP over the weekend, showed that majority of Democrats don't want the president to seek re-election. They're looking for a new generation of concerns about his age. Without getting into whether or not the president will announce, does the president believe that he has to address those concerns from his own constituents?
So as you just laid out, I'm going to be very careful, covered by the Hatch Act. Don't want to get into the specifics of what 2024 is going to look like or any underlying components of that. The president has been very clear. He intends to run. And I think the way that we should look at this is what we saw from the midterms, right? I think that's a really important point there, where the president laid out the policy, right? He's the one that laid out the policy for senators and congressional members to really have a midterms that did not lead to a red wave, right? We saw what happened in the Senate. We saw that, yes, Republicans now have Congress, but by a slim majority. We were told it was going to be more than 60 seats, and it's not that at all. And that's because the president went out there, spoke directly to the American people, and laid out what it is that we have done the last 2 years, how we've built. You've heard from Brian Deese just moments ago. He took many questions laying out the president's economic plan, how it's working, but how there's still more work to do, but essentially talking through the different policies that became legislation, that turned into law. That was historic, and all of those pieces matter. And I think the State of the Union, he'll have an opportunity to speak directly to the American people, not just Congress, to talk about what we have done what he has done the last 2 years, and how he sees the future of this country. And so I'm not going to get into what the president should respond to. I think the president always says this: watch him and see what he does. And I think he has a record over the last 2 years that shows that he has delivered. And that's the numbers that we're going to pay attention to, right? We're going to pay attention to unemployment, how it's been down more than 53 years, a historic unemployment. We're going to pay attention to more than almost 12 million jobs that has been created under this president. We're going to pay attention to the 800,000 manufacturing jobs that has been created under this president. And I think that's what we're going to continue to work on, and that's what we're going to continue to speak to.